Hi everyone, this is Norris Tony coming back to y'all with another video. I'm gonna read from my prayer book, Walk in Faith. I'm gonna read a Bible verse and I'm gonna read a prayer. The blessing of the Lord it make rich, and He add no sorrow with it. That's from Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22. Here's the prayer. Life is full of trade-offs, Lord, and I need to make one. I want to venture off the fast track where I'm losing more than I'm gaining. Guide my search for a job where I can have both a life and a living. Restore my balance, not the checkbook kind, for it will change when I do. Your balance is not found running in a circle, but along a beaconing path where enough is more than sufficient, where money comes second to family, community, and self, where success takes on new meaning, and where in the giving up I gain wealth beyond belief. I like this prayer right here. I like that. That's what I want someday. Have wealth. But I'm going to read an article, and it kind of pissed me off that this article that I'm about to read. I might show the video to this article, but I'm about to read it though. It's from rivercitypost.com or .org, and it's three adults charged in elderly abuse caught on video. The Sumter County Sheriff's Office has arrested three adults and placed several juveniles in the custody of DSS after video surfaced of the children abusing an elderly relative. We want we want to warn you the video released to us by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office is hard to watch. According to the Sumter County Sheriff Anthony Dennis, Thursday authorities were alerted to what they call a disturbing video that shows an EGREGIOUS assault on an elderly adult by juveniles was circulating on social media, showing at least a portion of the incident. Let me see. This is one of the adults that's charged right here. That's one of them. The other two I'm going to show in a little bit. And here go the children right here that was a part of assaulting that elderly adult, their relative. But anyway, Sumter deputies say the video was brought to them from a family member, spurring an immediate investigation into the attack. Sumter deputies say they determined 46-year-old John Magruder Jr. was leaving multiple children with his elderly aunt for long periods of time, in some cases for days on end. According to Sumter deputies, another family member, Malika White, was at the home as the children physically abused and repeatedly assaulted the woman in the video identified by authorities as the grandmother. How disgusting. This is another one of the adults that's charged. Deputies say White even went as far as recording the beating, but according to law enforcement, never stepped in to stop the children. In fact, authorities say in at least one instance, when White instructed one of the juveniles to grab a large pot from the kitchen and hit the grandmother with it. How sad. All three adults, 46-year-old John Magruder Jr., 27-year-old Darnisha Sanders, and 26-year-old Malika White have been charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor and abuse of a vulnerable adult. Authorities tell us all of the juveniles involved in the incident are now in DSS custody. Sheriff Anthony Dennis released a statement about the incident saying, okay, this the third adult right here. This the oldest adult that's charged. This man right here. This bastard. This ain't funny, but anyway, let's get back. This is one of the most disturbing videos I have seen in my career. It was extremely difficult to watch, and I am appalled at the actions of all parties in the video. This incident will be investigated fully by my agency, and all parties will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Thank goodness. Sheriff Dennis says the investigation is ongoing and additional charges in the case are still possible. Okay. Okay, I'll show the video, but it ain't much, but I'll show it's enough. Disturbing enough, but I'll show it. It said grandson welcomes his 84-year-old grandmother to SPA RTA for trying to make him go to bed early. Hold on. That is disturbing. That kid, I'm gonna be honest, that's the end of the article. I showed all the adults that's charged and the kid that did what he did. That little boy need his ass whooped. I'm sorry, he need an old fashioned Joe Jackson butt whooping. Seriously, and the adults involved, the younger adults involved, the 46-year-old, the 27-year-old, and the 26-year-old. All of them are disgusting human beings. They all right where they belong in jail. And I hope they do get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And the youngest adult, the 26-year-old, what's her name? I gotta look her name up. Cause that burned me up. That really burned me up when I saw this video. She was the one that was at the home and didn't do nothing. Didn't do anything. Malika. I think this is Malika right here. This old low down, dirty looking broad. She looked like a man. But yeah, that's disgusting. I feel like I would never, me myself, I would never allow a kid to attack my grandmother. Or if I was at home and my grandmother was at home and I was watching, baby helping her babysit younger children like my younger siblings or cousins or anything, and either one of them lift their hand up to my grandmother, I would be whooping their butt. I don't care. I would give them some discipline. Because obviously their parents is not teaching them anything. They don't have no role models. They don't have no guidance or anybody around them to teach them right from wrong. Because if they knew right from wrong, they probably did. That little boy probably did know right from wrong. But his parents or the grown-ups involved didn't even enforce no discipline. They didn't teach him right, apparently. Cause how you just gonna kick that 84-year-old woman down? He could have really hurt her. He could have severely hurt her. And then you got this 26-year-old girl, Malika. I call her a girl because a real woman wouldn't let a little kid or tell a little kid to pick up a pot and hit the grandparent with it. Why would you let a kid hit your grandmother with a pot? Why would you even tell a kid to do that? Like, you don't have no respect for your elders. These kids, they don't have no respect for their elders. They gonna grow up and be just like you. You teaching them to be just like you, and the other two adults are too. because this little boy didn't have no discipline. And I feel like Malika, the youngest adult that was in the house with the kids, she didn't have no discipline. Because what did this 84-year-old grandmother, what did she, they didn't say her name, but what did she do to deserve such disrespect? What did she do to deserve to be attacked? What did she do? In my opinion, I don't think she did anything wrong to get attacked. But I'm just saying, what is wrong with these adults? I'm telling you, these young adults and kids nowadays, they don't have no respect for their elders. They don't, and it's like you supposed to be good to your seniors. You supposed to be good to your elders. And me, on the other hand, I'm not perfect, but I took care of my grandmother for 4 years. You know, she was 88 when I took care of her. And then she passed away, as you all know, in October 1st of 2022. So I took care of her August of 2018 to, you know, to August of last year before she went to hospice. You know, she caught COVID and she did after she left the hospital, she did hospice at my aunt's house. And that's where she passed at, unfortunately, because she was in hospice care. But yeah, I enjoy taking care of my grandmother. I love taking care of my grandmother for the 4 years that I had her. But I tell you, even before I took care of her, I never in my life put my hands on my grandmother. I never threatened my grandmother. I never did anything to try to hurt her or put her in danger. You know, because I loved and I respected my grandmother. I mean, when I was younger, it might have been times when I talked back to my grandma or whatever, but I apologized and I acknowledged that I was wrong and I took accountability for my actions. And I didn't do it a lot. I didn't do it often at all. So I feel like I was very good to my grandmother, and my family did think I was good to her too. They do think I was good to her because they honored me in her obituary. You know, when she at the funeral, they put me in obituary, and I was honored for taking care of my grandmother. So I did something right, and my family respect me for that. But I'm just like, I'm appalled myself that this little boy got to physically kick this senior citizen, his grandmother, 2 times, and nothing was done about it. Shame on the adults in this situation. Like, all of them are so, like, they are so disturbing, are so disgusting. They need to be in jail. They need to be behind bars. You know, this is worse than a nursing home. You know, nursing home, I hear mistreat senior citizens and elderly people, but that I don't think they would allow this type of treatment. Who knows? But this is like I'm glad those adults are behind bars and they need all the charges in the world brought against them. We need to start holding people accountable for their actions. They need to be held accountable and made an example out of, because we cannot continue to let or put up with elderly abuse. We cannot continue this. We cannot continue to allow this to happen. And I know it happens, maybe every day or happens often. I'm glad that this was caught on tape because something could be done about it. But we as a people, we as a community, we need to band together and we need to stop elderly abuse. We need to stop child and elderly abuse because that little boy was misguided. Other kids, they said other kids was involved. We didn't see that, but these kids have to be raised better. They have to be guided better. They have to be taught better to respect your adults or respect your elders. I was always told that as a kid, you have to respect your elders, no matter what, how wrong you might think they are, or how much you disagree with them, you have to respect them. Also, obey them, be patient with them, show them grace, show them understanding. We have to love and protect our elders and our seniors. Be good to our seniors. So yeah, the 3 people I mentioned their name in the article. I showed you all their pictures. If you all want to read this article and see what they look like again and see the video, I will link this article. I will put the link to this article in the description box below. I will put the link in the description box and the website. But like I said, it's sad how people just how misguided kids are nowadays, and it's scary to think that they're gonna end up like their parents or their adult people who are raising them and caring for them. Because this little boy was not taught right. Obviously, he was not. He's not being raised properly, and they with in DSS custody. These little kids need to be made an example of. They do. They need to learn a hard lesson for that kind of behavior. Absolutely. The adults need to be behind bars. They need jail time and need to be punished. These kids need to learn some discipline too. They need to be held. This little boy and the other children that was attacking that woman for days, they need to be held accountable as well. We got to stop we got to stop the violence, especially against our elderly people. And this is a case that can start that the discipline can start, because this is unacceptable behavior. And if if these young adults that's behind bars and these children that's in DSS custody, if they don't be made an example out of, then it's a possibility that that will continue to happen. That elderly people will be continue to get hurt and abused in their homes. And it's sad. It's messed up. If the adults didn't want to take care of this lady or didn't want to stay with her, then they should have had that family member. Shout out to that family member who called the authorities. Let that family member take care of the 84-year-old grandma. Let him or her take care of them. Because I know they had to be upset, and they still are upset by what happened to their elderly relative. I know that they are upset. I know they wishing that they had to took care of the grandmother instead of depending on these other adults. So like I said, let somebody else in that family, another relative, need to step up and care for that grandmother and look out for her. Cause these three dum-dums behind bars, they're low lives. They're disgusting. Like I said earlier, they didn't care about this woman. They didn't care about her well-being, and God gonna make them pay for that, cause God don't like ugly. And and I know He's not happy with these people right now. So they all need help. They all need therapy. They need some discipline. And this 84-year-old grandmother needs someone else to look out for her and care for her. Because if none of them wanted to do it, they could have asked another relative to do it. Or they could, I don't know. I wouldn't put my grandmother in the nursing home, but if they needed to put her in a nursing home, do that. But don't sit up there and let kids abuse her. Don't record it. Step in and do something about it. Discipline these children. Show them that there's a consequence to their actions. But since nothing was done initially, when by the adult when Malika White was in the home, since she didn't do anything and she and the two other adults contribute to it, they definitely need to be made an example out of. They need to suffer the consequences for their actions. And I hope they get what's coming to them too. Because what goes around comes around. And these poor excuses for adults, these deadbeat generation, low down dirty dogs, I hope they get what's coming to them. Cause you can't do people any kind of way and get away with it. So, like I said, I'm done talking about these people. I'm so disgusted, but I'm done. But anyway, I hope you all like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like. Thanks for watching, and you all have a good night. Peace.